I wake up in the morning, it's 5:03. I'm late for work again, the boss is mad at me. But it's just one of those days, just one of those days. It's just one of those days, nothing goes your way. It's just one of those days. Well, I locked my keys in the car. Well, that's the third time this week so far. It's just one of those days, just one of those days. It's just one of those days, nothing goes your way. It's just one of those days, just one of those days. The sun don't seem to shine, and you wish you could rewind and just go back to yesterday. It's just one of those days. Well, my wife called me up in tears and said she just rolled the car and she thinks it's dead. But it's just one of those days, just one of those days. It's just one of those days, nothing goes your way. It's just one of those days. Well, I told my wife I'm feeling stressed. She said, we got a letter from the IRS. But it's just one of those days, just one of those days. It's just one of those days, nothing goes your way. It's just one of those days, just one of those days. The sun don't seem to shine, and you wish you could rewind and just go back to yesterday. It's just one of those. Just one of those days, the sun don't seem to shine, and you wish you could rewind and just go back to yesterday. It's just one of those. It's just one of those. Hey, what's going on, everybody? So there's no intro today because I don't have the intro on my main USD card, but all the guys have been contacting me and saying, hey, I just listened to the podcast. Can you please download an episode so we can listen to one of these new episodes? So as soon as this is done, I will be uploading that episode this evening. So everyone that is not hearing intro music, I apologize for that. I'll get on to that. But I wanted to go ahead and get this episode going. I am so excited to have this guest on. Oh my gosh. I've known about him for years. And so it's such an honor to have Mr. Seth Fields on today. How are you doing, Seth?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing good. Just turning knobs, man. What are you up to?
The better question would be, what am I not up to? Honestly, it has been a full day. I've played with my son on and off throughout the day. Got several duck calls, worked on a dryer, called in medicine, put together a tent, a little of everything.
Yeah. So man, it's what about them stiff reads? Let's just start there.
Man, what a place to start.
Man, you have to admit that was a lot of fun.
Oh, it was a lot of fun, and the best part of it was I never got mad about the whole thing. I think there was a whole lot more people a lot madder than me that had sent me messages and contacted me. And boy, when I like video of him that night, my wife was some kind of hot, wanting to know, who is that? Like, what's his name? And I was like, I'm not telling you his name for you to go crazy on him on Facebook. So.
I'll tell you what, he's money, man. As soon as he posted that like video back at you, spouting off, that was hilarious.
It was a good time. I'm never surprised to say that. I'm never surprised. Every time I think that I can't be surprised, it happens again. So I guess I'm just not going to be surprised at all about anything.
Mm-hmm.
Just amazed.
Well, I'm hoping he can make a competition next year. If anyone's listening to this and they're like, what is he talking about, stiff reads? This guy did a video and he did a sound file of his call, but he actually used Seth Fields' sound file of him doing, it was a competition, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I was using an old in a cut down contest, and he said that he had a DR85 that was modified, and that was what his sound file was. But in all reality, it was me blowing through his turtle box or something in the background.
It was funny. Once he got caught, he realized he was caught. Like, when the duck call community gets revved up, oh my goodness. So I hope he can show up and do a competition next year. That'd be awesome.
He said he's going to get the contest together, and he's going to practice this fall and this spring, and he's going to, wax my bald head off the stage. So I'm hoping he throws something together. I'm down as a clown in rodeo town anytime there's duck calls or goose calls to be blown. I'm ready for it, ready to have fun.
Yeah, that's I'm looking forward. I hope he stands by what he says, and I'm looking forward to that more than Paul versus Tyson for sure. So
we'll do something fun. We'll make it something real fun and interesting. We might have to I might have to do a nacho call, but let him use his own call. Pick whatever he wants to blow, and he can tune it as stiff as he wants. I mean, I'm talking as stiff as a 30-year-old on Viagra. And he'll blow his call, and I'll blow his call, and we'll just see who wins.
Oh, it's Blue Chew now. Come on now, Seth.
Blue, right? Get with the time. Blue Chew.
Yes. Yeah, but I'll tell you what. It's I'll tell you what. Anyone that's like that follows the calling comps, this year is going to be so good. You're in there, Phil's in. It seems like a lot of guys are making their way back. from
Oh
last
yeah,
year.
it's gonna be some. It's gonna be a good time, that's for sure.
Didn't Seth Roussel punch his ticket?
I think so. Yeah, I think he won the Louisiana State.
Mm.
Yep, I believe he won the Louisiana State. And you've got Hayden Richard and um, so many more. Preston Ellis just got qualified. Jonathan Seth Morton, Domingo, Lane Dunning. Loads and loads of talent, no doubt.
Oh, Lane
Well,
Dunning did get qualified. I must have forgotten
yeah.
about that.
Yeah, he qualified at the Illinois River Regional at Presley's.
Oh, okay. Okay, so what was the? Weren't you at the Rolling Thunder competition where you had to cut your own cut down and then compete?
Yeah, but it was actually just you cut your own, but you didn't have to compete with it, which is I wish that would have been fun too. That's kind of what I thought it was going to be, but basically you just cut your call and then you put in a Ziploc bag with your name on it, and Spencer and Riley and Drake, just went through them and picked their favorite ones.
Oh man, it would have been cooler to cut your own and then compete with your own.
Yeah,
That would have been neater than heck.
yeah, they encouraged it. You were welcome to in the open if you wanted it to, but no, it wasn't set up that way. But I wish it would have, because and if I would have known that going into it, I might have cut my call a little bit differently too. Because what I want to call versus what you want to call versus what my brother wants in a call may all three be totally different things.
Right.
Really close, they may all be close, but preference is preference.
Yeah.
So.
What was that competition down in Texas I've seen of you that you did a duck, a wood duck, and a speckle belly?
So the contest where you do multiples was called the World Real Duck. They just stopped having it. Bill quit holding it last year or the year before last. But basically, you did about 15 seconds, 20 seconds of wood duck, teal, widgeon, mallard, and pintail. Maybe if I didn't say pintail, widgeon, teal, wood duck, mallard. Yeah. And you do each one of them for about 15 seconds, and then you roll straight back in and do them for 15 seconds. So it's about a minute and 50-second routine. And yeah, that was definitely a good time. I won that in 2016, 17, and 18. So I won those 3 years in a row, and then got retired from it. So
Wow, that is like, to me, that is one heck of a competition, because I mean, to be able to run all of those calls back to back, that just, because your air presentation's totally different in every one of those.
oh yeah, and it's different. They're not all difficult, but more them Cajuns know what they want to hear in teal, and widgeons, because they hear a lot of them, and I mean they have a lot of those ducks, and boy, they're particular and picky on those, and that's one of the reasons we've always giggled about it. But one of the reasons I didn't get to win the World Team Real Duck was because of Trevor Shanahan. He's one of the most talented guys as far as blowing a duck or a goose call, but that guy cannot blow a pintail whistle. He cannot roll his tongue whatsoever. I mean, if he's going to blow a pintail, it's going to have to be one of those wing setters, that you just blow in it.
Really?
But oh yeah, and we always laugh and giggle about it. I was like, I'd have another one or two more world championships if you could blow a pintail whistle, Trevor.
So what's it? Oh man, you and Trevor Shanahan being on stage. Oh man, I bet that was awesome.
Oh yeah, we've had some good times, for sure.
Did you guys ever do the live duck up at the Easton?
Yeah. Mhm. We had success out there. He's one of the legends. He won 2 world lives out there. Me and him won a team. Then let's see. Yeah, me and him. I think won 2016 no 20. Let's see, 2018 maybe.
Uh-huh.
2018. Yeah, World Live, World Team Live. It was either 18 or 19. I won it with Slayton Guerin the first year in 17, and then I won. I think it was with Trevor in 2018, and then in 2019 Colby Stillwell.
Nice.
So
Nice. Yeah, now tell me if I'm wrong, didn't you weren't you around Mike McLemore
yep,
when you
Mike
started?
McLemore. Yep, he was. Well, when I started duck calling, yes, but not competition calling. He's from my hometown, or I'm from his hometown, in Huntington there, and he won the world 3 times in the Champion of Champions, and that I learned to turkey call from Mike McLemore on a mouth call and a slate call. But whenever he was still alive, I didn't really want any part of duck calling contests, and I was in high school and just didn't feel the need to get on stage and blow, and just I thought I was doing fine hunting, and I just wanted to play ball and kill ducks. And then he passed, and not long, within a year or so, I think it was after that, in 2014 was the very first time I went to a contest, and then I wished I would have learned a lot from him going forward. I might have learned a lot more quicker, for sure. But yeah, I learned turkey calling from him. I hunted with his son Hunter whenever I was a young kid, and a lot of history in our little hometown. My hometown also there in Huntington. That's where Travis Ward grew up and still lives, and that's where his new shop just got built too with Makers. So a lot of good duck callers from Carroll County.
Nice.
No doubt.
Nice. Did you ever get to go watch McLemore's competition up at Sandburg back when he was still alive?
Nope, I sure didn't. And I think they had transitioned even like just a few years before that I was started contest. I think they had kind of transitioned that contest to Final Flight in Union City. Even while Mike was still alive. But yeah, I never did get to go up to Reelfoot and compete while Mike was still holding contests, or even see it as a kid. So
wow.
I wish I would have, but
yeah, I've seen a couple videos of him blowing a metal reed, and it was just cool as heck.
oh yeah.
Do you ever get your hands on metal reed?
Yeah, I have a metal reed or two. I don't have a ton of them, but I have a couple of them, and I've blown several of them before. It's very cool, very unique duck calls and a history behind it. So always pretty awesome, especially when you get one that's good. Of course, Mike could make anything sound like a duck. So
yeah. So whenever you're going into anymore, you've been doing this for so long. Do you get nervous leading up to the Worlds? Do you what's your prep like for the Worlds?
For which one? For Main Street?
Yes.
I'm not nervous right now, and I won't be nervous next week or the week after that. I will be nervous the morning that I wake up and it's the Worlds. I will be just as nervous as a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs. So I usually just try my best to prepare every single day and get ready. That way it becomes, muscle memory, and it's just, the only thing that hopefully doesn't happen but could happen is, spit, lock up my call. And that's about it. I like to be so prepared that there isn't any issues as far as not being able to control the call. But it all boils down to how much you do. how much you practice, what type of practice, you're doing, whether it be full routines, whether it be segments some guys like or dislike one way or another. And really just once you get the music down and you feel flow and you have a good, ear and brain for tempo, it's really just how consistent can you be with air presentation, with nailing that top end, nailing coming down, nailing a duck, changing the type of air that you put into the call. And you can only do that by blowing your duck call.
Yeah.
And if you're not blowing your duck call, then you're just you're not going to be nearly as prepared, because that's the major part of the barrel. You have to blow clean in a Main Street contest. It has to be clean. The smallest amount of change in air presentation and the squeak, a fall off, waver, those judges are going to pick up on it and hear it for the most part.
Yeah.
You've got to do that part. But then the next part, which most people have issues with, they'll blow clean, but it's the flow, it's the tempo, it's the music, on paper, stepping down from the top, having a feed that flows and, it comes in and out without taking big breath or pauses. And that's another part. And, some people just aren't very good at music, and getting all that part down, and they need a little help. And that's one thing I love to do is help other people with their flow and the music aspect of it, and let them do all the hard work of blowing and getting it down.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you try to do as many competitions as you can throughout the year just so you're less stressful on that? It's less stressful on that day, or does that even matter?
Wouldn't matter if it wouldn't matter if I did 100 or two. Because it's gonna be just, stressful. Regardless. I for sure on Main Street, I don't get nearly as nervous for, cut down or meat or live duck, because I'll still get nervous on live duck. That's just because I love it so much, and it means a lot. It means a whole lot, and I want those championships, but it's not nearly the same as Main Street, because Main Street's just intimidating, nerve-wracking. Just I don't know why. It just is for me, personally. So, but I blew at Presley's this year.
Mm-hmm.
I was already qualified, so I could blow in 2 rounds and then not, step out on the 3rd round. So I did that, and I was just as nervous blowing in that contest, and I did something totally different. Like, I did not blow my routine. I blew a routine that I've kind of pieced together that's not like anything else anyone else is blowing. But I had butterflies, couldn't see, out in the audience, and just was like shaking like a leaf on a tree. So that's just me. And it may not look like it if you watch the videos, if you were sitting out there, but it's the truth. Nerves are huge, and there's a lot of guys that are super talented that just can't ever shake the nerves and can't do it. They can blow it in their garage,
Mm-hmm.
or in their kitchen. And I've heard some really, really good routines, and they just can't blow clean to save their life on stage, because their heart's in their throat and it's pounding. It's went from 80 beats a minute to 130, and they just get nervous. And they
Yeah.
can't overcome it. So.
Well, it also helps that you help with praise and worship at your church, so you're in front of people quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
So you're used to that.
Yeah. I hadn't done that, but for just a little bit, in comparison to how long I've been duck calling. But yeah, between playing sports, baseball and football, and occasionally, singing in a country band here or there. It does help, but I'm not nervous for the people. It doesn't matter that they're out there. It's just hard to explain. For me, it's hard to put into words the reasons that I'm nervous. It's like whenever I know there's some kid out there that's working just as hard, if not harder, than I am right now. But from 2015 to 18, I don't think there was anyone else that ever worked as hard as I did, that blew their duck call as much as I did, and I can confidently, say that. Somebody may think, oh, that's one-sided, or no. I mean, I was an annoying kid blowing my duck call if I was awake. If I wasn't eating, or I wasn't like actually in class, or something that demanded my attention, I was blowing my duck call. I mean, I probably should have died in 15 wrecks because I was paying more attention to blowing my duck call than driving.
What was your
So,
first comp call?
let's see. So the first call actually that I used in Main Street was a Mike McLemore single Susie,
Ooh.
tuned with a 7,000ths Duralar reed. The pitch was much higher pitch than say my call is today. And man, if you find the video, it's on my Facebook somewhere. Them hell calls were something. I mean, it was just, they went on for about 25 minutes. It was something.
Wow. So was that wow. So was that a fun call to run right there at the beginning?
Oh yeah. I mean, I thought every call was fun. It didn't matter if it was a Primo swinch, a Echo XLT, or a Macklemore Real Deal, or Single Susie, or what. I mean, it didn't matter what it was. Hate LDR 85. I was having fun no
Yeah.
matter what, trying to figure out and how to do stuff. But yeah, it didn't take much air at all to run Mike's Single Susie. But man, the way the way inserts and stuff have changed since the 70s to 80s to 90s to 2000s, and then where we're at now is pretty awesome to see the progression here and feel the best calls 40 years ago compared to what I consider some of the best calls of 2024.
Yeah. And where are you blowing now?
So for Main Street, I'm blowing a RM Trinity right now. That has been what I have blown for about the last 5 years, 6 years. In different variations. He's got 5 different gens, I think, Gen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to where he's made significant changes, in tone channel length, or bore size, or tone board, whatever it be. But it has definitely progressed a lot over the last several years
You
in itself.
you spreading some gravel?
Yeah, I was sitting here walking outside. I didn't know it was that loud. I
Are,
got my
are you
earpiece
like
in.
me? Whenever you're on the phone, you just walk around?
Oh yeah, and I can't walk inside my shop, because if I walk inside my shop, I'll drop the call, because it's a dead zone.
Right.
Two steps inside my shop, and it's pitch black and SOS.
So, as a fellow call maker, whenever someone asks me what I do and I say, oh, I'm a duck call maker, I get that look like I live in my parents' basement and I'm a painter. Like
I mean,
you decide to do that with your life, but do you get those looks?
well, yeah, but I think that's Trevor's fault, because everybody online, that's watched him make calls and stuff, and they talk, he was there for a while before he's moved off. He lives in Texas now, but he built all his calls out of his parents' basement. So I think that might be the stereotype, duck call makers living out of their parents' basement. That might be why you got that look. It might be Trevor's fault.
That's funny. But
if you ask Corey Nickham, he'll say everything's Trevor's fault.
That's funny. Yeah. So have you been in a lot of competitions with Corey Nickham?
Oh man, you wouldn't. I couldn't guess how many. I'd bet it was closer rather than farther to half the contests that I've competed in. I've competed against Corey or with Corey in some.
Man, I'll tell you what, he was tough this year. He was kicking butt this year.
Oh yeah, he always does.
Did I hear he claims he retired?
claims, but he's been claiming that for about 3 years now. So I'll believe it when I see it. I'll still be out there, and either he will or he won't, and we'll see. But I know he said that he's just not having as much fun as he used to, and I can totally understand that and get that. And there's times here, as of this year myself, to where it's like when I was in college, man, and if there was a duck calling contest within 5.5 hours, 6 hours, I was going to it. I mean, I was going to be there. If there wasn't like something big, if I wasn't going to a golf tournament, with my college on that weekend, like I was going to the duck calling contest. And I mean, I traveled everywhere. I mean, I've been to 17 states blowing in calling contests. And here lately, I just, if it's not semi close, or it's not, got a significant payment, or cool trophies, I mean, I'm going to stay home. I've got an amazing kiddo that's about to be 3 that just loves me and loves to do stuff, and I love to do stuff with him. So, I mean, unless it's significant enough to make a decent amount of money, or I can bring him or my wife with me, like it's really hard for me to leave the house. And 5, 6, 7 years ago, that wasn't even in the question. So things change, and I totally understood that. Corey's been at the top of his game for a long time, still is. Can compete with anybody when it comes to meat and live duck, and he more than likely will still be able to for 10 more years if he wanted to. So, or 20. I mean, it's not something that's, when you're doing meat duck, it's not something that is terribly hard to keep up. Once you figure out how to do it, and
Right.
You figure out how to blow and figure out what judges like and do it. It's just a matter of doing it.
Right.
Sometimes things change, and there's minute differences or nuances that judges like, and you either get with the times or not, but he'd still be competitive regardless. So
Yep. So when did you've been doing competitions for a while, and you won the worlds. When did you I saw you making speckle belly calls for a little while,
mm-hmm.
and then when did you decide I'm going to start making duck calls?
Well, I've wanted to make duck calls for a long time. Probably since high school. I really wanted to do it, but between school and going to contests and blowing duck calls, it's really hard to do everything.
Right.
So I was like, you know what, I want to set goals, and I want to win this contest. I want to win this contest. I want to beat this person, and I was like, I want to achieve all these goals, and then we'll see. Well, 2018 is when I got my first lathe, and when I started, making calls and piddling with it and learning. And then I guess last year was the first time I gave anyone a call or sold a call. So, 5 years went by before I even let anybody have one. So.
Nice. Yeah, I'm looking at your website right now, and what's are these the baby blues and the green, are those the ones you found in that locker?
Yep, it wasn't that the guy had sold. It's the blue ones are exactly round hole Olds, except the exhaust is bigger. It was a call company, I believe, from what I was told, was the American Call Company.
Uh-huh.
That was gonna come out, and they come out with that product and brought it to Old, and said that they wanted to start selling those. And I believe that Old was like, you know what, how about we buy everything that you have, and we'll buy that patent from you, since it's, or whatever. And then basically there was 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, however many they had made, thrown in that locker and never made again. Yeah, but the tone boards are the plugs are the exact same, just the exhaust is a hair bigger. And then the green ones are the true, timber hole TH96 inserts. And then I got a few of those little old junior inserts, and all those are uncut, just stock how it would come, so you can mess with them yourself if you want to, or if you really want me to do it, you can send me a message and I can fix one up for you whenever I get the opportunity. So,
How do you charge for one that you cut on?
So the baby blue ones there that I was doing, I was just charging 150, and that was barrel and everything, a duck call ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't done any baby blues in a while. I've got 10 or 15 people that have asked me or really wanted me to do one, but I got started cutting those CYOs, those cut your own from Rolling Thunder keyholes, and that tone board's completely flat, and you have to create the radius and everything. So I started doing those, I guess, whenever he released them in September, and I've been doing them pretty much anytime that I get free time. That's what I've been doing. So I think I've done right at 90 of those, and I've got about 30 more people on the list, and I'm hoping that I'll have those finished by the end of the week.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, I was amazed too. When you were those the inserts that you were cutting on at the competition at Rolling Thunder?
I don't remember if what you said was those the ones I was cutting on.
Yeah, whenever you do the competition where you cut on the insert, was it those inserts that they released? Didn't they release them that day?
No, well, yeah, I think it was just a little bit like to a week or so after the contest that they like put them for sale for people. But Spencer had sent out several to 15, 20. I don't know how many guys he sent them out to, but different people that cut. He sent 5 out that were going to be in that contest. And then a few people that weren't, and but yeah, we messed around with a few of them while we were there, just piddling, and I went back whenever they were gonna have them for sale that first day and bought 25, and then by the time I got home, I was like, you know what, I should have just bought 20 more. So I called her and I was like, hey, put me down for 20 more. So I had 45, and then last week I went and picked up the other 75 that I ordered. So I've got a total of 120 inserts minus however many I mess up, so because occasionally, like, I'm still cutting them, and if I don't like it and it's not what I want, then it's just $25 wasted. So it ain't like a money scheme, because I'm not going to send out something that's not quality, that I don't like, or I don't think someone else is going to be happy with. So if I do 120 and I have to mess up 5 or 10, it's nothing but $125,
yeah,
$150, $200, whatever I have to waste, that's fine with me.
Yeah, you have to give it to Spence. That was a genius move.
Oh yeah, it was good that he came up with that, and I had said something to him about it last year. I was like, man, I think it'd be awesome. People would be down for an uncut contest, because he still has the molds like to the uncut, like BSOD uncut, and so that's kind of what I was, inferring, just shoot some with some polycarb, or whatever, injection molded material that you want to use, and but no, he came out with it, machined acrylic, and it's got a good sound to it. So, but it's some work. I mean, it's a flat tone board. So, you guys,
are you there?
And even if you do know what you're doing, it's still difficult, because it's completely flat and you're doing everything by hand if you don't have a jig.
Right. So if I'm looking at all these baby blues, the green. Didn't you hack on some DR80 or cut on some DR85s there for a minute?
Oh yeah, I still do. I still have some guys from time to time that send me send me some or send me a message about it. I just, man, people have asked, when are you gonna do more baby blues, or are you gonna cut 5 more of those old juniors ever, or when are you gonna make a couple more Coca-Cola calls, or this? And I'm just like, man, my ADD is rampant, and if I don't try to do one thing and then try to move on to the next thing, I'll never get anything done. I'll get half a barrel turned and cut one piece of cork and for a cut down. And I was like, so I've been trying my best to do something for a while and then switch up. But man, between that and my son and my job as a nurse, I'm a hospice nurse. Then we live on a pretty decent sized farm, and it's always something to bush hog or mow or something. So it's hard. It's hard to keep up and do everything and balance a life, but it's fun. I enjoy it for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, I mean, what we've talked about, how you kind of got into the comp calling. We've talked about comp calling. We've talked about old stiff reads. We've talked about a lot. I mean, when did you get into duck hunting? I mean, do you still try to get out? I mean, is that what got you started in all of this?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know how young I was. I've got pictures with my dad from whenever I was 3 years old, holding ducks up on the front of his boat. But I've been hunting pretty much my whole life, and up until I got married, I mean, I was and having kids, having a real job. I mean, I was hunting 45 to 55 days a season, pretty much every year. And that was just hunting. I mean, I've guided a little here and there, helped people, a week or two at a time in Kentucky, Missouri, Kansas, Tennessee, but mostly just hunting. But I hunt mostly in southeast Missouri. Right now, not very far from my house in West Tennessee. So, but yeah, I would still be hunting just about every day. And once my little man gets a little bit bigger and it's a little more enjoyable for him, I'm sure I'll be hunting every day, and he'll be begging me to go whenever we're not able to go. But yep, big hunter. That was all I wanted to do at first, and this is contest calling is just a way to lengthen the season, meet more contest callers, more duck hunters, more outlets, people that are passionate about the same thing that I am, and pick up on tricks and trades, and share stories of this hunting, what we did here, was people were successful when they did this, and just learning tricks of the trade.
Yeah. Well, Seth, was there anything specifically you wanted to talk about before we close her out?
No, I don't guess particularly, but
if anyone's interested in getting one of your calls, how can they get a hold of you?
Hold on just a second, Riley. Back over. All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Cool. What did you just say?
If someone is wanting to get a call from you, how can they get a hold of you?
So if you want to call from me, regardless of what it is, if you just want to send a message on my Facebook, and I've got like 3 accounts, so it's pretty easy to find Fields Custom Calls, or there's a Seth Fields personal page, and then there's like a Seth Fields, I guess, I don't know if it's a group or a whatever. It says professional duck caller, and that's where I share a lot of contest pictures or results. But you can message me there. You can message me on Instagram, or if you want a custom call, you can go to my website, fieldscustomcalls.com. There's a tab on there my wife created that is a custom call application form, and you can it'll ask, for your name, address, phone number, and then, you can put in the comments down there what type of call you're interested in. And whenever when it's getting closer, to your turn, I'll give you a shout and we'll go over it and make sure you haven't changed your mind and stuff like that. But that's the easiest way. Send me a message on Facebook or send me a message there on my website, and we'll get it figured out. And whenever I can, I will be glad to make anybody a call that can help them on the stage or hunting, cut down, meat call. If you got any people, whether they're young or a little older, that are interested in contest calling, or they want help, or they're pretty good but want some advice on this routine or that, you can also send me a message at any time. I love helping people with that, and sometimes it's overwhelming, but it brings me a lot of joy to see other people passionate and reaching out, and I just want to give back, like Jim Ronquist and Trey Crawford and Wayne Betts and Charles Petty. All of them have helped me and give me advice from nearly 10 years ago now to get to where I am. So if I can help someone be successful, I gladly will.
Cool. Well, at the end of every episode, I ask 3 questions. Are you ready for them?
Go ahead.
If you could go back in time and do one hunt all over again, what would it be?
One hunt all over again. Oh man, that's a difficult. Like, are you actually participating, or you just get to watch it from a bird's eye view?
You're going to do it all over again.
Man, I'm kind of torn between my first hunt to where I called ducks in myself and shot them. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one, because my wife laughs every time you look at it, or anyone else does. The first duck that I killed was a pintail that I called in by myself. I called it in with a mallard call.
No.
And I shot a bull sprig pintail, and we had just had a group of Canadians, and in my local area, we don't get Canadians much. If they come, they're lost. There's usually one of them, or it was a group that came off of a golf course and they're just pilfering around in the little bottom where I grew up.
Yeah.
Well, we had some geese that kind of skirted us and went and landed over in a little resting area. And when we heard them from a while off, I switched my shells, probably 3-inch number 2s, and put 3.5-inch triple BBs, all 3 of them in there. And so when that pintail come over, circled, and I hit him, and he just cut back in probably 20 yards or so, and I shot him, and like he just immediately, one wing broke, and like he started to go down, and then I just pumped him one more time, and I didn't think anything about it being triple BBs, and there was not much of this pintail left, but I still got it mounted. I mean, both wings are broken, legs are broken. I mean, not a hole. It wasn't like there was a hole missing from him, but like everything was broken. His neck was broken, and the mount. Somebody that was like super, super good probably could have repaired everything and made some stuff, but this mount kind of looks like it. Like it's a Halloween decoration. My wife says it looks like a Halloween decoration. So it stays. It's in the closet. But yeah, that would probably be the one, and I'd probably just switch those out that way, but maybe not, because it's brought a lot of laughter and memories of it. So. Oh,
you need a. Especially after that story, that needs to be the main thing in your shop. That is such a conversation starter. I've never heard of anyone shooting their first bird is a bull sprig pintail. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, they're kind of, which crazy, they've knocked them down so much. But like in southeast Missouri, I kill more bull sprig pintails than anywhere I've ever seen. And
wow.
Like we limit on pintails, I'd say 70% of the time we limit on pintails.
Wow.
So like 10 a day.
Oh my gosh.
So it's definitely followed me. I've seen a lot of pintail killing, but then I see a lot of people post on there about how much they wish they could kill one and they never see them. I'm just like, how? Every time I go hunting, I see bull pintails, no matter where I'm at. It's like I go to California, I go to Tennessee, I go down here and hunt a bottom that only has wood ducks, and then bam, here comes some pintails. I'm like, why won't y'all leave me alone?
That's funny. That is funny. All right, well, the second question, if you could be in a blind with 3 other people of all time, living or deceased, legends, friends, family, who would be?
Man, that's a real hard question. But you know what? I think it's going to be for sure on a good hunt with some good coffee and biscuits, and have my dad, my little brother, and my son. And I'll have to wait a few years for that, but that would be the 3. And my wife is glaring at me because she loves to hunt just as much as I do.
Does she really?
Oh yeah, she definitely gets mad if if there's a spot for her to come and I invite somebody else. Oh, I better not tell her that there was a spot or I invited somebody, because she will divorce papers tomorrow, she says.
So,
but yeah, that would just be a cool memory to have my dad and my little brother and my son. But other than that, my wife, and my wife. If I clone her 3 times, man, the stuff that would get done around here, I'd still be the one doing it, but she'd make sure I got it all done.
No. So did she get into hunting? Was she into duck hunting before y'all got married, or did you get her into it?
I got her into it. Her grandfather took her hunting whenever she was a kid. Squirrel hunting, deer hunting, turkey hunting. But he duck hunted back in the day, and we've talked about it. He's got some duck calls over there at her mom and dad's house and whatnot. But no, she loves it ever since she's definitely had a good time, and I love hunting with her, and she's a better shot than half the guys that I hunt with, so it's always good to have her next to me. So
that's awesome. How's she on a duck call? Does she leave the calling up to you?
Yeah, usually. She gets too mad when it comes to duck call practice, so she's just like, I'll just shoot them, you call them up.
That's awesome. All right, and the third question, if you could stand over the shoulder of any duck call maker of any time, living or deceased, who would be? And watch them make a call. Who would be?
Stand over a call maker and watch them make a call. Because I didn't get the opportunity to, and because he is so, means a lot to me and from my hometown, I really wish I had a memory to watch Mike McLemore take a square piece of wood and turn it into a duck call. I'd love to watch Mike McLemore do that for sure. I've got the opportunity to watch a lot of guys make calls and been in their shop, but that's the first one that comes to mind would be Mike.
Awesome. Well, Seth, thank you so much for being a part of the podcast, calling in today. Man, I just really appreciate it. If you don't mind, if you could just stay on and I'll close her out real quick.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Well, everyone, thank you so much. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, I'll close her out. So, everyone, that was Seth Fields. You definitely know by the duck call that you just heard, that was definitely Seth Fields. So, if you get a chance, just I will be posting the audio version up of this. If you don't like watching the live, I'll be posting the audio version up of this literally in probably an hour. So, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, this is